following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
Come on, ball. Get up. One time for the week.
Yes, we've traveled to the beautiful North Shore of Long Island to the 1,100-acre campus of the University at Stony Brook. A crowd of nearly 4,000. It's a sellout. Today's PBA finals will unfold on specially installed lanes in this efficient, attractive indoor sports complex for the finals of the Bud Light Championship. $200,000 and Burton, a lot of money at stake. We'll get to that in a moment as we look for fifth-place seed, the AC Delco Classic winner from Tempe, Jess Stayrook. His opponent is making his second consecutive appearance from Morganton, West Virginia, Ken McNeely. The third seed is the 1992 PBA Player of the Year from Kingston, New York, Dave Ferraro. The second seed won last year's Bud Light tournament from Milton, Pennsylvania, Andy Neuer. And our tournament leader is seeking his elusive first PBA championship from Texas, Big Spring, in fact, Phil Ringener. That's our field of five for this afternoon's Professional Bowlers Tour telecast from the Indoor Sports Complex, State University of New York at Stony Brook. $200,000, Nelson Burton Jr., and it's broken down this way.
You're right, Chris. The people from St. Louis made quite a splash with the cash. $37,000 on top, and I'm really looking forward to this opening match. Stayrook against McNeely, two of the most exciting players on tour. We're ready to go.
And, of course, it was last week that Ken McNeely exposed his unusual bowling style to all of America. Can't wait to watch him again. And he goes against Jess Stayrook, who won the first of our events this year in our 34th season, the AC Delco Classic, and he won it from the number one seed. In other words, the tournament leader. Now he's starting from number 5, Bo.
Chris, the last time he was in the championship round was at Peoria and was shot a .256 and lost to Jeff Moore in .257.
Listen to this crowd. Spring break at Stony Brook. They'll be back on Monday. But bowling fans have come from all parts of New York City and Long Island to fill it to capacity. Now, here it is, as if he were protecting the ball that somebody wanted to take it away from him. Ken McNeely. Unlike Jess Stayrook, didn't get the strike as we look at his style.
Doesn't quite get the leverage on it, Chris, as you see this unique style four-step delivery. But actually, when he gets it in this position, he's in really good shape. Look, everything's just like we teach it. He drives through the line, except one little hitch in that is that he pulls up at the line and sometimes slides by the pocket.
That was not a sure thing necessarily, but just did get the 2 pins, the 3 and the 5. So now he'll go over to the left side and hope that he can get it into the pocket in all 10. Specially built lanes by Brunswick. They did it beautifully, as they have done before. They've installed them all over the world, and now here at the Indoor Sports Complex, Stony Brook. A 6-pin.
Both these players southpaws, as you see McNeely playing somewhat of an outside line. He starts that ball around the second arrow, swings out to about the 5th board, then drifts a little bit high, leaving the 6-pin. And really the line that both these players, power players, prefer is the inside line. So this is not their best shot. They have to cut their hook down a little bit, keep the ball in play. Let's see who does it the best.
All right, in this Bud Light Championship, the preliminary games were contested at the Sayville Bowl, where we were for 4 years. Then they moved these finals, Bo, to this wonderful arena.
42 games they bowled at Sayville before they came over to these specially constructed synthetic lanes.
Incidentally, there were wood lanes at the Sayville Bowl.
Chris, the only difference between the wood and the synthetic is showing up right here in the shot of Jess Stayrook. The ball slides a little bit more as he releases it through this area with a good solid swing. And then it hooks more in the back end, as evidenced by that spare shot. And that's the only difference between synthetics and wood lanes. Everything else is regulation.
And Bo, this is the first of 4 arena finals. We'll be in Erie, Pennsylvania. We'll be at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. And we'll be at Harper College, Community College, the Chicago area for the Brunswick World Tournament of Champions.
Exciting stuff.
All right, 2 strikes and 3 frames. This moment a 1-pin lead with 2 spares, shooting in the 3rd now. Morganton's Ken McNeely, 27 years old, one of 3 left-handers in the field. Joined the tour in October of '93. Winner of 2 regionals. No luck at all, 3-9.
Well, it's pretty obvious that the right-hand lane here in the arena here is a little bit tighter for the left-handed players as the ball by McNeely hangs out on the edge and doesn't quite finish and leaves the 3-9 spare. Very difficult with the center of the lane fairly tight. When he crosses over the center, the ball can either hang to the left or break sharply past the 3-pin. Tough shot here, 3rd frame.
Good job of marking by the graduate of the University of North Carolina at Wilmington, Bachelor of Arts degree in history, Ken McNeely. During the afternoon, you're going to hear from the Satan Dukes, the #1 oldies band of Long Island. They've been entertaining their crowd for hours.
The full grip, rolls it back on his wrist. Actually, it's a little unorthodox at the start, but after he pushes the ball away, he's in real good position. I'd just like to see him stay down with the shot a little longer.
There it is. 3 spares and a strike. We're on the 118-mile long Long Island, great part of New York State. We're on the campus of the University at Stony Brook. So throughout tonight's show, we'll offer you a glimpse of the 2. Franny B, director and vocalist of the Satin Dukes, Long Island's #1 oldies band, and you'll hear them throughout the afternoon. They're terrific. Bring back a lot of memories. Okay, now Jess Stayrook, who has a 3-pin lead, can increase it to 13. Strike working, 4th frame. So the winner of 4 PBA titles has that lead now. Nelson?
Well, Chris, he's just had a wonderful year. Jess had a tremendous year in 1989 where he won over $110,000 and has had some solid years in between, but 1995 seems like his year. If he can win today, he can take over the #1 position as the leading money winner on the Pro Bowlers Tour, catching Dave D'Entremont. Here we go. If he strikes again, 23-pin lead.
Jess arrived today here in the sports complex wearing a duster coat. Floor length, black leather. Looked awesome. Looked like he was more than ready, or perhaps ready for a wrestling match.
And he liked that last shot. He tugged on it a little bit. It's set up for him, and he's rolling.
And he may be zeroed in now, so look out for Ken McNeely, who is so hungry for that first national PBA title.
Well, I agree, Chris. And he really bowled very well last week. He got to the final frame where he needed a strike to put the pressure on John Gant for the title, and he left a solid 9. As you see him make a solid adjustment here on the right-hand lane, gets a little more turn on the ball, flips it up there for a double, and he's answered the challenge of Jess Stayrook. If he strikes here, only a 3-pin difference through 6 frames.
Okay, the game is on. That's true next Saturday. Professional Bowlers Tour rolls into Connecticut. PBA money leader Dave D'Entremont and perhaps Jess Stayrook take on the field at the Tums Classic. That's live at 3 Eastern, 2 Central next Saturday, right here on ABC. There he is. He's originally from San Diego, now bowling out of Tempe, Arizona. Sellout, 4,000. at Stony Brook. All right. He has strung 4, back to a 13-pin lead.
The Rock with a very solid, confident shot on that particular frame. Took his time, let his feet and his arm get in full timing, and just put a nice smooth lift on the ball. Right here, this is the lane he likes. Seems like both the lefties like the number 3, the left-hand lane, so it's a key shot to maintain his big lead. 13 pins right now.
A pesky 3 on the left lane, and the crowd applauds. Stringing 4.
The Rock, as you can see, sends it a pinch wide, leaves the 3-pin, easy spare. He'll maintain a 12-pin lead.
All right. We're in the first game of the Bud Light Championship, Arena Bowling. We'll be back. Yes, Franny B and her guys and her friend. Aren't they great? Oldies, number 1 on Long Island. And we're number 1 today in professional bowling because this is arena bowling. And now Jess Stayrook has a 12-pin lead. But with a strike up, he has a 3-bagger, as a matter of fact. He is in the 7th frame, can cut it to 2 pins. Ken McNeely. Okay, here's Bo Burton.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. Dave Ferraro, you're the only person in the championship round with arena lane experience, and you averaged 260-something in your last victory at Grand Rapids. You see that same lane condition out there today?
Well, it started out a little tough, but the oil carried down, and there's only a couple righties on the show today. So, yeah, I do see high scores.
How about the angle of attack to the pocket? You were outside when you averaged 260 last week.
Well, I started out, but I think I'm going to play him a little further in around the 3rd arrow today.
Chris, he's very tough, former bowler of the year, and he's up in the next match. Back to you.
Looks ready. McNeely on the left lane now can take an 8-pin lead. Now Ken left the 6-pin in bewilderment. What a shot of the crowd. Sellout. 4,000.
Where the 3-pin deflects a little bit more and has a chance to take out the 6.
It's a mark, but it's not the kind of mark that McNeely wanted at that point. So now up with a spare working in the 8th frame, Jess Stayrook. Okay, tonight on ABC, James Brolin hosts an all-new World of Discovery special, Orangutans, Children of the Forest, at 8/7 Central Time. Then Robert Hayes is flying, and the passengers could die laughing. It's Airplane 2, the sequel, all tonight on ABC.
Here's the one The Rock really wants. He doesn't want McNeely with a chance to nail him in the 10th frame. The key 9th frame, he can take a 13-pin lead. Right here. Awfully confident, Chris. Boy, oh boy.
Going to have a great year.
Rightly so. He's had started with AC Delco win. He's always bowled well in the championship round. A tough guy, as you see. Follow through on the right foot and stay low and watch your mark on the left. He needs to do that to stay in this match. He still has a chance. 9th frame. Ken McNeely.
That's a shot to show you why he was second last week. In 7 events last year, he cashed 4 times, made 17 grand. He's already earned 20,000 here in 1995, and a chance to up the total.
Well, for Ken McNeely, he proved himself to himself and everybody else he could throw strikes or throw the ball in the pocket when he needed it last week. He's in that same situation right now. He needs 2 strikes to take the lead and put the pressure on Jess Stayrook. 10th frame, first match.
pin. His opponent
was not happy with that shot. Not his best effort. He pulls up a little early. I think Ken, when he gets a little more practice, will stay down with that shot. He proved to be one of our better young players out here in the tour. But when you yank up at the line, you have a tendency to go high under the gun. He goes high there, breaks down the 7-10, has a fairly easy spare, but he's in trouble.
Around the campus, Stony Brook, the university at Stony Brook. 70 academic departments, 100 buildings, an over 500-room hospital, over 300 rooms for veterans. I'm impressed.
It's a beautiful campus. For McNeely, it's important he gets a strike right here. A strike will force Stayrook to mark. If he gets something less than a strike, Stayrook can win with a 9 count on the first ball. So imperative to knock them all dead right here. 225, not a bad game, Chris. He bowled well last week, and it's not over yet. He has forced Jess Stayrook to get 9 on the first ball. If he gets less than 9, he needs a spare to win the first match. Where do you go when you need it? There's no safe except right in the 1-2 pocket. That's lockjaws.
Okay.
Chris, that's deadlock. All he has to do is show up for the next game. That is a winner for Jess Stayrook. The 9 on the first ball. If he misses this, he finishes with 226. That would be a margin of victory of 1 pin. So it's going to be Stayrook against Ferraro in the second match. He'll be in the 230s, however.
Stayrook, a former carpenter, very strong. 175 pounds, 6'1". Okay.
What a confident victory, Chris.
Oh, yes. He liked it. 238 to 225. This ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
On 7.
ABC Sports coverage of the Professional Bowlers Tour. Brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. AMF, maker of the new XS, featuring X technology. And calcium-rich Tums. Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium.
Our first game in the championship battle is over. Stayrook, 8 strikes, defeated Ken McNeely, 238 to 225. $7,000 for McNeely, and we're in arena setting today. And we like it. The bowlers like it. 4,000 watching along with you. And we're going to show you one of the perks or one of the luxuries of being in an arena setting. The bowlers have ample room in the very comfortable locker rooms. The locker rooms of the Stony Brook Seawolves.
I'll throw my strike ball with it and I'll miss it. And I go, why didn't you throw the plastic at it?
So it's out on first ball, man. You don't have to worry.
Got a few accents in there. Okay. Back again now, the specially installed lanes. 4 of them, 2 for practice, 2 for the championship matches, championship games, installed by Brunswick. Now, Jess Stayrook, 238 to 225 winner over McNeely, goes against the Player of the Year in 1982, Ferraro. Scout didn't come over and get the 6 pin for the left-hander. Ferraro is a right-hander, as you probably know, and he's a native New Yorker, so he will get a big reception from this crowd. All right, it's a spare for Jess Stayrook in our second match. Now, Dave Ferraro. His best this year was 3rd in the Choice Hotels Classic. Now listen. Comes from a bowling family, bowling proprietors, and also from harness racing. Kingston, New York. 1990 Firestone Tournament of Champions winner. McNeely puts the pressure now on Jess Stayrook. After 2 frames, Dave Ferraro has a 10-pin lead. Using about 2/3 of the approach. Good style. All right, Nelson.
Thank you, Chris. Schenkel. Ken McNeely, 2 weeks in a row. He came down to the 10th frame last week. He kind of got a bad break this week. The shot was a little marginal. What was going through your mind?
Well, I was just trying to make good shots. It seemed like from when we went on the telecast, the right lane tightened up on me the first couple of shots, and I just had to adjust. And a condition like this, it's pretty much who carries is going to win, and he carried better than I did, so I guess he comes out the winner.
Well, you look great. Good luck in the rest of the tournaments.
Thanks a lot, Buck.
Back to you, Chris.
All right. Stayrook again plagued by the single pin, a 6-pin. Ken McNeely, Morganton, West Virginia, Appalachian Mountains. Very wonderful southern accent, hasn't he? Well, McNeely's just a delight, Chris, as you said, and he's just part of a young group we have coming out this year. Johnny Petraglia told me it's the best group he's seen in a number of years out here, and they're sure proving it as we see up. David Ferraro up in the 3rd. Look at him. There's a 3-bagger. Acknowledging the crowd, looking down at Johnny Campo. Ferraro with just a solid style that's proved him year in year. He's a player of the year once upon a time, just a very short backswing, everything straight through the target as he just rips the rack on this shot. And see that arm go directly to target? And I like that Samson-like warrior look he has today, Chris. Okay. And Sampson now takes a 30-pin lead at Stony Brook. We'll be back. The Stony Brook Seawolf, very, very popular mascot for their basketball team, which plays here. Now Jess Stayrook down by 30, shooting in the 4th, a spare up, 2nd game. Yes. Nelson, you need breaks in bowling.
Well, he gets a great break there, Chris. Little trip of the 3-pin. Unbelievable right here for the Stayrook. It keeps him in the matches. Dave Ferraro is really sharp. Andy, you know, the right-handers look very sharp. The lefties are struggling. Do you want to bowl lefty or righty in the semifinal?
It really doesn't matter. I'm going to play him further left than the lefties, so we'll see what happens.
All right, he's going to play the outside line, go for the carry, Chris. He's smooth, and he's ready to go.
Stayrook playing to the crowd, loving every minute of it, and he should, because with his double, he has cut Ferraro's lead to 20. 4 in a row, 5th frame. Stopped at 4. 10-pin on the right. Dave Ferraro with 9 PBA national titles in a 16-year career. His 45th telecast.
And Chris, 10's a key number for a player who's won 9 titles. What it does is gives you a right to bowl half the tournaments in a year and still maintain touring status with all the rights. Normally you have to bowl 67 or 68%. And Dave wants to take off in the summers the next few years and spend some time with his family and run his bowling business, so it behooves him to win that 10th title.
Leaving the 4-pin, Dave Ferraro, who in the first arena finals shot an 803 3 games. He won the title, Great Lakes Classic.
And Chris, he was carrying all these shots when he averaged 260 in that performance. He goes a little bit high. The 2 goes around the 4, but he leaves him an easy spare.
So we have an 18-pin difference. This man standing up won the first match, 238 to Ken McNeely's 225.
Stayrook can cut the lead of Ferraro's down to 8 pins with a strike.
Three-bagger.
His best shot of the day, no doubt. I've never seen Stayrook so almost melancholy out there, very confident, and yet he knows when to turn it on. And that's what winning will do for you. He has experience out here. He's had a big year going, very confident, just working on his game, letting the crowd energize it. And he can take the lead for the first time in a match here in the 7th.
So that made Kathy, his wife, a dental lab technician, smile because he has strung 4 and now leads by 2. We'll be back.
You cherish most, the emotional true story of one woman who did Orangutans, Children of the Forest, tonight on ABC.
The arena of the University at Stony Brook. 4,000 fans watching the finals of the $200,000 Bud Light Championship. Dave Ferraro had the lead with 4 in a row, marked with spares in the 5th and 6th frames, now trails by 2, because his opponent who won the first match here today strung 4. Seventh frame strike for Dave Ferraro.
As his wife looks on, and his son, John David. John David with a 105 average. Very proud of his daddy.
Gloria's a lovely lady, too.
The warrior look of Dave Ferraro. I like it. All business. Sharp dresser. Taking his time. Wasn't exactly set.
Can we expect a ponytail from you, Bo?
If I could bowl that well right now, Chris, I think I'd probably grow one if it helped. It seems to help him. A little too much energy on that one, though, as he throws it through the break, leaves the 2-pin. And that's the one danger of an over loft on the ball. Ferraro with a nice solid loft always on the ball, and it's usually works well, but this time he throws it through the break.
Nearly stepped across the line. Coming up next, ABC's Wide World of Sports. Yes, it travels to Romania with an Olympic champion for her emotional home company. Legendary gymnast Nadia Comaneci goes back to her homeland for a reunion with her family and a special performance. Nadia Comaneci returns to Romania. I was there when she returned in 1984, Kurt Thomas and I. Stayrook on a strike, and Kathy Rigby and I and our director Larry Cam, we watched Nadia 7 perfect 10s for the first time ever in Olympic competition at the 1976 Montreal Olympic Games. So she's been a big part of my sportscasting life, and it's on right after us today. I suggest you watch it.
Good stuff. And a man with 5 perfect 10s going right now, Jess Stayrook, coming up in the 9th frame. 6 perfect 10s.
That's a Shinnecock Indian scout. Shinnecock Golf Club, famous for its U.S. Opens and other championships, right near in this crowd. Listen to it, Andy.
Here's a big shot for the Rock as he takes a 22-pin lead through 9 frames. Dave Ferraro, if he takes it off the sheet, would be 248. Stayrook going at a 250 pace. Right now for David Ferraro with a spare here in strikes 3 times in the 10th would be a 237. He would just force Stayrook to mark. The Rock has this match under control unless he makes a mistake.
And the averages now for Stayrook getting back up near the previous 3 arena finals, Bo. That 240. Ooh.
Well, the arena finals, Chris, have always produced higher scores, and there's a number of reasons. One, they only have the top players, obviously top 5 guys. They practice for a couple hours, but the lanes are set to the maximum tolerances for the flat gutters, and they're tied together perfectly well for terrific pin action, just like that. And, of course, you can't really put a number on the crowd effect, but it's fun to bowl in front of 4,000 people. It gets the adrenaline flowing, and that's kept the scores up. And once again, we have a very close match. If Ferraro can strike here, he makes Stayrook perform in the 10th.
extremely high hit, and he gets them all.
This is the same situation that Ken McNeely was in against Jess Stayrook. A strike here, as you see the 2-pin trip out the 4 here on the second ball on the 10th, important shot. Now a strike on the final ball will force Stayrook to get 9 on the first ball to lock in a tie and a spare for a victory. So this is a key shot. And he makes it. So right now, Jess Stayrook needs 9 on the first ball. If he'd happen to miss it, we'd have a tie match the first of the season. A strike or spare, he locks it up and goes in the semifinal against Andy Neuer. Strike or spare is a deadlock.
Here it is, right lane for the left-hander. Impressive. Impressive.
Well, if he takes it off the sheet, it's 270. And nice guy Dave Ferraro, he admires a great performance as Jess Stayrook has locked up the match. It's just a matter of how much he's going to win by. If he takes it off the sheet, he'll have 270 and win the match by 33 pins, as we'll have another southpaw in the semifinal.
Ferraro, in losing, had 8 strikes. It is shooting a 237.
There's a classy guy right there. Nice family, nice guy, great champion. All the players out here like him. He'll be back many, many more times. Ferraro can get the job done. However, today, the rock was too much.
Come on. Tempo. 269 to 237. Next up, Andy Neuer against Stayrook. This week's Choice Hotels Tip of the Week features Billy Hardwick with some advice on grips. Here's Bo.
ABC Sports presents a winning never gets old bowling tip. Brought to you by Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels.
Our guest today is Triple Crown winner and Hall of Famer Billy Hardwick. Billy, watching that fellow in the shot there with all that hair, is that really you?
I like the hair, Bo. I think I'm going to bring it back.
Well, Bill, when I first met you some 30 years ago, you started with these 2 fingers in the bowling ball, and then you went to these 2 fingers, and you had success both ways. Does it really make any difference?
Bo, when you're young, nothing makes a difference. Everything works, and you believe in it. But as you get older, you have to get smarter. You have to become more precise. What I've had to do is knock a pound to a pound and a half off the weight of the ball and shorten the span so that I can still stay in charge of my game. So a shorter span, lighter ball, your career can go on forever.
For you seniors, take a tip from a great one, Billy Hardwick. Shorten that span so you have more control, lighten that ball, and you can extend your career. And remember, winning never gets old.
Look for future ABC Sports winning never gets old bowling tips. Brought to you by Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels.
With 9 strikes, Jess Stayrook, a whopping 269 to Dave Ferraro's big 237. 2 victories. 4,000 watching. Sayville Bowl, the scene of the first 42 games of the Bud Light. And here are the chairpersons. Mr. and Mrs. Arthur Kalachi, lovely people. They have 8 bowling centers here on Long Island, and they plan a big one. $13 million family entertainment center.
Chris and some of the other in the top 24. Dave Houston made a late charge Friday. Number 1, the Big D, finished 7th. Bob Spaulding, Quaker State champ, the Buzzsaw. Ed Richardson, a tough Texan in there. Jeff Moore, solid all the way through. Butch Soper, another good paycheck, $42.50. Furpo, the good release. Rick Steelsmith, solid as usual. U.S. Open champion Justin Romick. Brian Goebel, ranked 3 in the world. He'll be at Danbury, Connecticut tomorrow for the Hospice Society. The King, Ron Williams, George Branham, Ryan Schaefer, his sister Karen on the women's tour. The Ragman, Dave Arnold, Mr. Machine, Amleto Monicelli, Dave Covington round out the top 24, Chris.
And Mark Roth, 35. Hugh Miller, 37. Marshall Holman tied for 42nd. Mike Albee, 46. Randy Peterson tied for 49th. Next week, those bowlers will be there at the Tums Classic, another great event at Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Tums, great backer of professional bowling. We look forward to getting to that Connecticut city. And 2 weeks from today, the next Arena Bowling Finals. Splitfire Spark Plug Open. That's in Erie, Pennsylvania. The Warrens are ready, and so are we.
Dennis Horan defending his title at the split bar. Chris, a couple of southpaws here in the semifinal.
That's right. The winner, of course, to go into the finals for the big prize, $37,000 against Phil Ringener, West Texas. Rolling out of Tempe, Arizona. Stayrook. A 7. Stayrook, if you just joined this one, the first match, 238 to 225 for Ken McNeely. Then eliminated Dave Ferraro, 269 to 237. And has a spare in his third match of the afternoon. Andy Neuer, another lefty, using about 2/3 of the approach. He has 1 PBA title, 5 Eastern Regional Championships. Oh. 2, 4, 7, 8. Let's look at his style. Very compact and strong. 5'9", 165. Follow through quick, but all the way through. Came up high. Well, unfortunately, chopped 2 pins. Oh, darn. That's a 2 and the 8. Okay, Bo.
Hey, Chris Schenkel, Jess Stayrook's kind of got your number, David. He bowls well against you all the time.
Yeah, he does. The last time I bowled him was in Tucson. He made the 7-10 to beat me by 11 pins, and I guess I got a target on my back with Jess.
Hey, I like this new Warrior look. Chris Schenkel said you look like a stud out there.
Thanks, Phil.
All right, Chris, back to you.
All right. Andy Neuer in the second frame after an open, the count of 8, strikes in the second, and now marking with a spare in the first. Jess Stayrook shooting in the right lane, second frame. Well, he had 17 strikes coming into this game with his 2 victories. Very, very comfortable indoor sports complex, University at Stony Brook.
You know, actually, Chris, one of the problems, if there be any occasion on synthetic lanes and approaches like this, are either a stick and a slip action up by the foul line, but Stayrook with a very little slide, and remember he used to use tennis shoes, probably acclimates better to these synthetic approaches than any of the other 4 players. Watch how he just kind of scoots up there and just jams it. No slide. See that? Mm-hmm. Sticky approaches can't bother you if you never slide.
Now, Andy Neuer. He's from Milton, Pennsylvania. Jim and Bonnie Neuer, his parents, are here watching.
Well, he said he was going to play that extreme outside line as Angelina looks on. And right now, it hasn't fared well for him. Andy right outside, playing the very first or second board, so to speak, and has not kept the ball off the nose. He's been high on the right-hand lane, both shots. You know, admittedly, Chris, that Andy is a really nice, laid-back type of guy. And he says, you know, I get so nervous sometimes before the championship round. I just don't know what to do with it. And so, basically, he needs to calm down and work on his concentration.
Fourth frame. There are his parents, Jim and Bonnie.
And they have to be a little bit disappointed in what's happening with Andrew right now. He's just rushing himself the line. He's rushing his shot. He's up quickly again. He needs to make these splits here to keep the game close. All right.
Okay. We're in the semifinal game. 13-pin lead by Jess Stayrook. You know, bowling isn't the only sport alive on the campus today. Here's the reason why. They are the Seawolves of Stony Brook. Lacrosse.
One of the game's premier events. It's the women's final of the Lipton Championships next Saturday on ABC.
There's the future. Jared Ringener, whose dad is a tournament leader and will be up next. Lovely Jill Ringener. The Ringeners are expecting again in May. Congratulations. Jess Stayrook now is up off the seat and shooting in the fourth. Strike up can increase the lead to 23. That he does. Here's Nelson Burton.
Thank you, Chris. Schenkel, our tournament leader, Philip Ringener. Philip, you're 0-2 from the #1 spot, but you tell me you feel a little more confident today.
Oh, I feel a lot confident. You know, 0-2, you know, it's all been in bowling centers. This is a new arena here. Hopefully this will be where I win my first title. So I think I need to throw a lot of strikes to win, though.
You got a new baby coming May 6th.
Yeah, and this wouldn't be a bad way to start it off.
All right, Chris, he'll be tough in the championship match up next.
And this lefty from Tempe has been tough now into his third match, stringing 3 and leading by 33 against Andy Neuer. Watch this reaction.
The Rock Man is rolling.
Everything going by the 7th pin, and it stands.
Well, one of the advantages of speed in our sport is to be able to throw the pins back and forth with authority. Now, Andy throws the head pin to the sideboard. Doesn't come across hard enough to kick out the 7.
4,000 sports fans are here in this complex. Saw a lot of people who we got to know while we lived in New York City. Nelson there. It's good to see him.
A lot of old friends.
And Bo, one I didn't get to see, but I met his son. One of my favorite boxers of all time, hard-hitting, left-handed Joe Maselli. His son, Joe Jr., is here, and we hope Joe Sr. is doing well in Florida. What a puncher.
Here's a guy who's put forth the Sunday punch so far as he's knocked out 2 players, going for his third here, the semifinal, has a 34-pin lead, can make it 44.
Look at that. We have a wonderful location to watch the games with you. Here it is. Our ABC technicians really take good care of us, Bo.
You bet, Chris.
So does our director, Larry Cam. But this is his last chance at ABC.
Heading to Atlanta, getting out the suntan oil.
Oh, yes. Okay. 54-pin lead. University at Stony Brook, where the main entrance to the university leads to the campus and seemingly to the expanse of Long Island's glorious North Shore. Wouldn't you love to have those 4 specially installed lanes in your basement? Brunswick did it for our first of 4 arena finals. The next is Erie, PA. From Milton, PA, Andy Neuer, strike up, 7th frame. Oh no.
Andy just trying to be a little too smooth. When you're in the championship round, it's just a 100-yard dash. You can't just take your time and get stroking. The Rock definitely has him on the brink of knocking him out. Well, we saw that shot before, Chris, in the first frame.
Yes, next Saturday, we'll go north to Connecticut. Dave D'Entremont, the 1995 PBA money leader, battles the field at the Tons Classic. That's live at 3 Eastern, 2 Central next Saturday, ABC.
The legends, the defending champion, Harry Sullins. As Andy Neuer trying to play the outside line is just struggled. And one lesson to be learned for everybody watching it, you can't play the lanes incorrectly. The lanes will always overpower you. The shot's inside, the oil is in around the 2nd and 3rd arrows. Playing outside is disaster, and Andrew is paying the price.
Oh, I've been a part of ABC's Wide World of Sports from the beginning, like the bowling show. Had so many wonderful telecasts. Today is special. Nadia Comaneci returns to Romania with Bart Connor.
All right, this is from behind the pins. If you were once a pin boy, this is what it looked like. You see the background, the ball of Jess Stayrook cutting through the 1-3, 1-2, a little bit high. You see the action of the 6 pin off the sideboard. No action. Right now, he's in absolutely the driver's seat, as the best Andrew Neuer can bowl is 191. Jess Stayrook working at a 238 pace. Stayrook just has to maintain his concentration, and in the championship match, it's going to be Stayrook against the righty Phil Ringener. It's kind of let up, Chris.
2, 4, 7. That can happen in your third game, can it?
It can, Chris, but you know what? You can't really let up. You have to bowl against yourself, not against Andy Neuer. And so he may pay a little penalty as the championship match cranks up. I'd like to see Andy finish with a nice string of strikes here. Just make a good move. His game looks solid. He just wasn't aggressive. There you go. You don't get to the number 2 position throwing them all over the lane, that's for sure.
And the 4,000 loved that.
Well, you want to see a perfect strike. Andy Neuer, the ball into the 1-2 pocket. The ball takes out both the 5 and the 8 pins. Well, Andy tried the inside shot. He just doesn't have the power of a Stayrook to make the ball snap back from there. Just not his day, but it's going to be a nice, solid paycheck. And he's out of his slump. He had been struggling up to a couple weeks ago.
For he and Angelina, $11,000 here at the Bud Light Championship. A 10 pin. So it's a 170 for Andy Neuer.
See if Stayrook picks up the pace here. Now he's got the championship match coming up. He's got a bowl against Phil Ringener, who's going to come out firing. Phil wants this title. And so it behooves the Rock not to let down here, because it would be tough if he just gets melancholy the last game. There you go.
All right. Phil and little Jared, who is a press room. That's not Jared's mom.
That was the Travers.
Sure.
Our champion, David Traver, and his wife. They'll do a little babysitting during the championship match.
I must say that Jared Ringener is well behaved.
Yes, he is. There's Jared, rooting for Daddy. He's going to have a new little brother in a few weeks. 235 for Stayrook in the semifinal.
235, 170 here at Stony Brook. This ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will continue with the finals after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
I'm Julie Moran in New York. Michael Jordan made it official this afternoon. He will return to professional basketball tomorrow when the Bulls play the Pacers, and we'll have more on that story later on. Coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, a powerful and emotional look at the career of one of the greatest athletes ever, Nadia Comaneci. We'll follow her life story from growing up in Romania, from her daring escape to America, and her first visit back to her homeland in 5 years. That's all coming up next on Wide World of Sports. Now let's go back to bowling.
Jess Stayrook has won 3 matches. He's earned the way into the finals here against Philip Ringener. Here are the scores. Against McNeely, 238 to 225, 8 strikes along the way. The native of San Diego went against Player of the Year Dave Ferraro, 269, 237, 9 strikes for Stayrook, 8 for Ferraro. In steps Andy Neuer, 235 to 170 with 6 strikes. So, will he be able to go all the way? Well, Philip Ringener has dropped some pounds, old flat belly, looks ready to go get that big title.
Well, I think so, Chris, and especially guys who, believe it or not, their wives pregnant, ready to go. I mean, they're tough on that. They need that money, and Philip Ringener knows how to win. That one thing that was Stayrook, though, he's only missed the pocket 3 times, and he should be very tough.
Though, having been around New York for a long time, These fans are fantastic here.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
They'll be cheering tonight in Reno. Earlier, the National Bowling Stadium was the setting for this year's new PBA opening. That's right. Our thanks to the officials at this magnificent 80-lane. Oh, it's colossal. Tonight at the Salute to Champions, Jim Bennett's affair, Don Carter and Frank Baker will be honored. I'm sorry to miss it. But we have an arena setting here, and it's been terrific. Here's the handshake. A Texan against a Californian. Big Spring is out near Midland, between Midland and Abilene.
Never count the tough Texans out, and definitely this young man, Phil Ringener, he wants to win. Well, he's one of the guys that once he breaks through is going to be very tough. He is actually the all-time career earner without a title. As you look at Jess Stayrook, who's making a little change in the thumb hole. He's going to put an extra piece of tape in the thumb. And actually, because he's bowled 3 games, hand warms up, and then he relaxes and cools down, the thumb actually shrinks a little bit. Keep that nice, even feel, because you don't want to be squeezing the ball for all the weight. Here we go, $37,000 Bud Light money on top.
Championship match is underway. 37 to the winner, 19 to the runner-up. Philip Ringener steps in at 5'11", 193. Phil will be talking to you from time to time as we recheck his style.
Good solid style by Phil Ringener. He's a fireballer, but you know what? He's got his backswing a little bit higher than he used to, and you know what? He's waiting for the ball. Watch his footwork as he drives through and stays a little bit lower, and he's been working on not pulling his head off the target. You see a little snap to the left, but he kept that chin pointing towards the target. That's very important at the point of release to keep the eyes solid on the target. Ringener perfect in the first frame. There's something a little bit moved on the left, caught his eye. Somebody waving to the camera, that's all right. There's a 25-second rule on the PBA Tour, but if there's interference in this case, just reset the clock, and here we go. He's been there before. Take your time, he tells himself. He knows he's got a tough opponent.
Oh. Grooved on his first 2 shots. Both strikes. Championship match.
A rock against Fireball. 2 experienced players. Only one of them has ever been in the winner's circle. The farmer carpenter. His dad, his coach, a police officer in San Diego.
Well, 6-pin. Should be able to handle that. This left-hander who has won 3 games, if you just joined us, to get to this match.
Well, the right-hand lane was a little tighter for the lefties. Stayrook softens up on the shot, drifts high, gets the 6-pin.
He's bowled 24 strikes this afternoon. Opened with 1, and then now has marked with a spare.
His dad, Max, 200 average bowler, is bowling in a seniors tournament up a little bit north of San Diego. Proud of his son, as he rightly should be.
And it's a 4-7 on the left line.
Just kind of looks down at his hand, and that's a sign that he either wasn't very comfortable with the way that ball feels, or he gets a little bit wide. You see him here, he throws the ball wide, the ball jumps high, then the rock looks down at his hand. Maybe he's losing it a little bit off his hand. You lose that feel, it makes this game very tough.
Yes, my friends, that is a pink bowling ball. Shocking pink.
Well, that ball doesn't do much for a strike ball, Chris, but it's very good for spares. This ball doesn't bite the lane much at all. Just need it for accuracy. Most spares just touch the pins and they'll go down. The ball weighs 16 pounds. The pins 3 pounds, 8 ounces. Now, Ringener, 3rd frame.
Here at Stony Brook.
Well, he broke his watch band on that one. This is a little more aggression I've seen from this young man in a while. Chris, he's got a lot of experience, but he has never had anything really good happen to him in a championship match. Right now, he's in a position I don't ever recall him being in. A chance to win a title and a lead. 22 pins.
Won 2 regional titles last year. Perhaps gave him some more confidence.
These are the big boys, though.
Yes. Philip Ringener is with it.
All right, Ringener snapping through the ball. Good wrist action. He's going to snap his hands together. Pop. There goes the wristband. And so what? I'd rather have that strike in the 3rd frame than a good watch.
32 pin lead. He's 4 in a row now against Jess Stayrook, who has 3 victories. We'll be back soon.
Sunday here on ABC.
The tournament chairman, where action began at Sayville Bowl, 42 games there, and now the finals over here at Stony Brook today. Bill Parks, Carl Pyatt, very efficient, very effective. Here now at the Indoor Sports Complex at the State University of New York at Stony Brook. Jess Stayrook trailing by 32 pins, spare working 4th frame of the final match.
Awfully good right there is Stayrook striking the 4th. Stayrook is 4th in average on the PBA Tour this year with 221. Mike Albee leading the pack at 228. That's just sensational. And the Rockman, if he can win this championship game against Phil Ringener, would become the #1 money winner on the tour, surpassing Dave D'Entremont. But it behooves him to throw some strikes. Boy, shows real good touch there. Cuts the hook down, stays, keeps his hand behind the ball, works the crowd a little bit, trying to get to Phil Ringener. Philip slow to get up, ready to go here. He's just taking his time. And right now, Jess Stayrook contemplating what's happening. 22 pins in arrears. He knows he has to throw strikes. Phil Ringener's never been in the winner's circle, as Kevin Shippey gives Philip a little hand with some duty of loosening up here. The belt wasn't getting tight. Another strike here will loosen him up, give him a 32 pin lead. It's perfect through 4.
Now he has 5. Philip Ringener. Kevin Shippey is our tournament coordinator, PBA. Serious? You bet.
There's a new Phil Ringener, Chris. His form is a little better. He waits for the ball, a little higher backswing, confident. He's paid his dues out here. He needs that first victory. He's won over $400,000, has never seen the winner's circle. Perfect through 5.
String ends, but it's a 4-pin. Phil's daughter, Tiffany, watching her dad bowl from Six Flags over Texas today.
Phil just gets the ball a little wide, hits the dry area quickly, goes high. We haven't seen many 4 pins or 6 pins tripped out today, and it doesn't happen for Ringener in the 6th. Oh, did that shoot a shot of adrenaline through Jess Stayrook? Chris, Jess Stayrook jumped right off the bench here when that ball went sailing by the 4-pin. Listen to the crowd.
Goodness.
Boy, you just can't do that. We saw Eric Forkel miss an easy spare in Baltimore, and Dave Traver took advantage of it. Last week, McNeely missed an easy spare, and he lost the championship to Gant. Let's see if Stayrook jumps right on it. Yes, he does.
That gives him 3 in a row. Added confidence and reaction.
What a difference. If Ringener strikes in the 6th frame instead of the 4-pin, he has a 42-pin lead. He's got Stayrook on the rocks. He leaves the 4, misses it, shoots a shot of adrenaline into Stayrook. Stayrook can now take the lead here in the 7th with a 4th strike in a row. What a difference.
And you must remember that Ringener, battling for his first national PBA title, tournament leader, using the full approach on these Brunswick lanes. Oh. What next? An 8-pin.
It's not over, Jess Stayrook, as Jill and Jared look on. Make a mistake here in the 6th, and then a solid 8. Nothing you can do about this. The ball almost in perfect position. With today's powerful bowling balls, you often pay the penalty for a near perfect hit. Look at this. He slides. Chris, the Rock is wondering what's happening. Show you how slick the center of the lane is. You can see a shiny ball being used by Phil Ringener, sliding right by the 8-pin. And I can buy the theory of using a shiny ball for corner pins on the right, Chris, but when you got to cross that oil, use your strike ball.
Jess Stayrook just looked up here with despair for Ringener. They've all been in that situation, Bo, and when it happens to someone, you can't help but feel sorry.
It's disbelief.
Oh,
I'm in
terrible.
shock. Phil Ringener is an excellent bowler. The 2 simple spares, now he's dug himself a real ditch as he's got the bucket, the 2, 4, 5, 8, and this is no gimme. Now he's using a strike ball for this, a little better result.
Well, you break your watch, and it isn't long before your heart's broken. When you're going for your first title, and this, there could not be a more pleasant Texan in this man. And Nadia Comaneci returning to Romania. It's a full wide world of sports special. I'm proud to be in it. And I'm proud that I got to know her when she was 14 and weighed 94 pounds. All right. Now he has put together 5 in a row, Nelson, and no stopping Stayrook.
Well, Stayrook has shown how much experience he has. He knows how to win. Ringener has given him an open, but it is not over yet. There's 2 frames remaining. Stayrook going at a 2:38 pace. Phil Ringener, if he can gather his thoughts, get his game back together, can still finish at 2:36. So it's still up for grabs. 2 frames left. Right now, the momentum in favor of Jess Stayrook.
What? He says it didn't go down. We mentioned Larry Cam, our director, earlier. 32 and a half years dedicated to ABC, now moving on to Turner. On behalf of everyone at ABC, Larry, thanks for everything and good luck. Larry Cam, best in the business. Jack O'Hara, we feeded him last night at the dinner. Jack picked up the check. It was wonderful, that Maine lobster, wasn't it, Bo?
Wonderful. Right now, Jess Stayrook in the driver's seat. However, Phil Ringener has a chance to make this a match. He must throw some strikes here. 9th and 10th frames, imperative that he gets X's. There's one.
Yes. By the way, Jack O'Hara, watching here, he's a Marquette graduate. He is our executive producer.
You see the trophy, the eagle flying high for somebody. And right now, Phil Ringener has a chance to rectify those 2 open frames. If he can strike 3 times in the 10th, he would force the Rock to strike to win. This is the big one right here. Cannot afford anything but a strike.
Look at that. Late in the game, Philip Ringener of Big Spring, Texas. His parents own a bowling establishment. Started at 6. Today he must feel almost like 100. He's only 36 years old because it's been cruel.
Ringener still has a chance. Needs this strike. This will force Stayrook to at least strike in the 10th frame.
Super. Look at that.
You know, Chris, we haven't had a tie match all year, and in the last 3 weeks, there have been differences of 1 pin, 3 pins go right on down the line. The only mismatch we had was in our semifinal Stayrook against Neuer in almost a month. And right now, Phil Ringener has set himself in a position to tie, win, or lose, depending on what Stayrook does in the 10th. Boy, he came back. Give him credit.
Isn't that 236? Can you believe it?
If he does not win this, Chris, we can look at 3 consecutive weeks where the championship match was not decided by strikes, but by missed spares. Now, for Stayrook, he must strike on this ball and spare to win. If he gets 9 spare strike, we have a tie. Now he needs a spare to win by 1 pin.
There's so many people to thank. Rick Cusimano of Brunswick, Assistant Dean for Athletics, and old friend Sally Flaherty here at Stony Brook.
Jess Stayrook, strike or spare, wins the tournament. 9 miss, it's a tie. Now, must make this spare. If he misses it, we have a tie. If he makes it, he wins. By 1 pin, takes over as the leading money winner on the Pro Bowlers Tour.
What are the odds, Bo?
Of missing? I guarantee he's going to make this part. This is going to be a rocket right at the 6 pin. Right in the middle of the face.
Target. Get that. Another 1-pin match, but in the championship game, 237 to 236, Phil Ringener going for that first title ever against Jess Stayrook, who's won his 2nd of the year. In his 18th telecast, he won the AC Delco Classic earlier in California. We'll be back. And the top prize, $37,000, has put Jess Stayrook in the lead. Money, the PBA. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I'd like to thank Bud Light and Leisure Bowling Centers for putting on this fantastic tournament here at the arena. It was just unbelievable. I don't know what else to say, but thanks for coming out, and I hope I'm here next week.
Kevin Card, marketing, Anheuser-Busch, makes so many sports possible, has the check. Kevin, it's all yours.
Yep, first of all, on behalf of Bud Light, I'd like to say thanks to the super support the people of Long Island have lent. You guys have been just super. Thanks. And Jess, for you, congratulations on becoming the tour's leading money winner. Bud Light says congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And now the symbol of America and Anheuser-Busch, Bill Reitzig, president of Leisure Bowls. Don't drop it.
Oh, no, it's a heavy one.
Yeah! There's the man that came in with a duster, floor-length, black leather coat. You're the man.
Boy, what an afternoon. I expected the scores to be a lot higher on the lanes. They seemed like they were really hitting them hard in practice, but during the tournament, they really didn't hit them as hard as I thought. I thought it was going to take 250 or 60 to win every game.
One quick comment. Philip Ringener, does he fight back?
Boy, he is one tough competitor. I feel real bad about him missing those 2 spares. He's a great player. I know he's going to be a champion out here soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Stony Brook. Leisure, Arthur. Goodbye. See you next week. Tom's Classic, Connecticut.
ABC Sports coverage of the Professional Bowlers Tour has been brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. Quality, comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels. And Full View TV, the satellite system with the best view. Coming up next, ABC's Wide World of Sports follows an Olympic champion on her